You're about to watch this Trump supporter humiliate AOC in front of the entire Congress.
I have a quick question. Simple. Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
I believe the fact that he was sitting with me while I was putting together a business deal.
Did you witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir? Specifically.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption statutes.
Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is the crime?
It's a category of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
a long 100
You
list
have
of
charges. Sir, please
want me to name the exact statute under RICO?
Yes.
Well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir, I reclaim my
lawyers
time.
that went to law school.
I reclaim my time.
You guys
okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statute
reclaim my
under
time.
RICO.
Clearly, what we are seeing here today is a continuation of the 15-month saga of the Republican majority lost in the desert. Impeachment 101. The majority party, or whomever is raising impeachment, must accuse the president of a high crime, a specific high crime or misdemeanor. I would like to submit to the record HRES 918, the House resolution to open this impeachment inquiry.
Without objection to order.
This resolution does not outline a high crime or misdemeanor. It's not here. Now, when we compare the chairman's opening from his previous opening, he's talking about Ukraine and Burisma and all of this. This entire inquiry is based on a blockbuster piece of information that was in a classified SCIF room. And inside that room was a document alleging President Biden directly of a $10 million bribery scheme, a $10 million bribery scheme, extremely serious. What happened? What happened a month ago, Mr. Chairman? That document, the FBI arrested the person who offered those allegations for falsifying his testimony to the FBI. This entire impeachment inquiry is based on an actual, provable individual who has lied. Now, responsible leadership would withdraw an inquiry based on that. Withdraw it. Instead, what we are seeing is that this committee was warned about the falsehoods of these allegations long before that, warned by Trump's Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, and yet they proceeded anyway. The chairman proceeded anyway. This committee was warned by Rudy Giuliani associate right here, Lev Parnas, after that document about the falsehoods of this. Then held hearings where your own expert witnesses said that there was no grounds for impeachment, and you proceeded anyway. And finally, as if none of this was enough, the FBI arrested the individual who was the source of the entire, to quote the chairman, heart of the matter, to launch this impeachment inquiry, and proceeded anyway. At this point, the story is not the fact that the basis of this impeachment inquiry is wrong. The story is why it's proceeding anyway. Why is this committee proceeding based on false charges? And by the way, no charges. I have yet to hear in the chairman's opening the allegation that they are specifically charging the President of the United States with. I'm hearing about Biden family. I'm hearing about this and that. I am not hearing the specific allegation by this committee. What is it? It's not here, and that is the problem. The story is when this committee knew that they were working with falsified evidence. That's the story. And with that, I yield back.
Alright, now that you've seen that exchange, let's actually break down what just happened, because there's a lot more going on here than a simple back and forth. What Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tried to do in that moment was very clear. She narrowed the conversation down to one thing: name a specific crime right now in a clean, courtroom-ready sentence. It's a classic strategy. If the witness can't instantly deliver a perfectly packaged legal charge, you frame the entire testimony as meaningless. But here's the problem with that approach. That's not how complex investigations, especially ones involving potential financial networks, influence peddling, or international business dealings, actually work. When Tony Bobulinski responded with terms like RICO, corruption statutes, and conspiracy, he wasn't just throwing out buzzwords. He was pointing to categories of alleged behavior patterns, not isolated acts. And RICO, whether she wants to acknowledge it or not, is commonly used precisely because it connects multiple actions into a broader alleged scheme. Now AOC jumps in and says, RICO is not a crime, it's a category. Technically, she's trying to sound precise. Politically, it's deflection. Because everyone in that room understands what he's implying. Not a single act, but a coordinated structure of actions that could fall under racketeering laws if proven. The argument isn't about whether RICO is a category, it's about whether there's enough there to investigate further. And that's where things get interesting. Instead of letting him elaborate because he literally says, "How much time do I have to go through it?" she cuts it off, reclaims her time, moves on. That moment matters. Because if your goal is truth, you let the answer play out. If your goal is control, you shut it down the second it becomes unpredictable. Then she pivots hard into a broader argument that the entire investigation is baseless, built on discredited claims, and should never have moved forward in the first place. Now that's a serious claim, but here's what often gets lost in exchanges like this. Even if one source is discredited, that doesn't automatically invalidate every line of inquiry connected to a broader investigation. It means you reassess evidence, not shut down the entire process outright. And this is where the political divide really shows. One side is saying, there's nothing here, shut it down. The other side is saying, there's enough smoke to keep digging. What you just watched is that clash, compressed into a few heated minutes. And here's the bigger takeaway. This wasn't really about getting a clean legal answer in that moment, it was about shaping perception. AOC needed to show that there's no specific crime. Bobulinski needed to show that there's a pattern worth investigating. Both walked away thinking they made their case. But as a viewer, the real question you should be asking is this. Why does every conversation about this topic immediately turn into a battle over whether we're even allowed to ask questions in the first place? Because that's what this is becoming. Not just a debate over facts, but a debate over whether the investigation itself should exist. And that's where things stop being legal and start being political. If you want more breakdowns like this, real analysis, no fluff, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let me know what clip you want next.